And indeed, John, this is your election headquarters. Let's start from the PPP and from the NPP and the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, says Ghana will record the slowest economic growth in 22 years under President Mahama's watch as president. That's according to the third-time presidential hopeful. He says it's a clear indication of how the president's continued stay in office remains a threat to national security and the economy. Speaking during his tour of the Anya-Soutum constituency in the Greater Accra region, the NPP flag bearer mentioned that the country needs a leader who can create more jobs and transform the economy. There's more in the following report by Joy News' Latif Idris, who has been on the campaign trail with the presidential candidate of the NPP.
The bus for the New Patriotic Party's campaign has landed in the Anya-Soutum constituency, and the reception and the response of the people has been massive, right from Tabora Junction to Alaji to the University of Pentecost campus. The response of the electors in this constituency has been massive. Now, the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party has been addressing the university students. I'm talking about the students of the University of Pentecost. Nana Addo's message is straightforward and simple, that the students must think about their future and that President Mahama remains a threat to the development of this state. We can take a listen to what the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party had to say to the student body.
Every year since John Mahama became president, our economy has shrunk. Every year, shrunk. And this year, we are going to have the slowest rate of growth of our economy for 22 years. What it means is that your ability to walk out of here and get a job is being compromised right now. What I'm trying to leave with you is that 4 more years of John Dramani Mahama will mean that you have no future to run after.
Parliamentary candidate for the New Patriotic Party and the incumbent MP of this constituency, Shirley Ayoko Boche, has also been making references to the issue of unemployment in this country as of now. She called on the student body to vote massively for the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party. Who is part of the campaign team, has also been talking about how the New Patriotic Party has a track record when it comes to job creation. He is therefore calling on the Ghanaian electorate to give the New Patriotic Party a chance again to prove how they can turn the economy around.
It's for us to create jobs for the majority of our people. Number 2 is to make sure that Ghanaian businesses work again. There is only one party in this country that has shown by its record in government and also by its vision that they can address these two challenges. And so on the 7th of December, remember that your vote is going to define your own future.
President Mahama is also on the road, and yesterday he hit back at the NPP vice presidential candidate Dr. Bawumia on his interpretation of the recent Moody's rating of the Ghanaian economy. Dr. Bawumia had alleged at the NPP manifesto launch last Sunday that the president misinterpreted Moody's latest rating of the economy, which is now pegged at B3 with a stable outlook. However, speaking to a charged crowd of students at the University of Ghana campus last night, President Mahama said Dr. Bawumia got his interpretation wrong. Latif Idris was there on the campaign and has filed this report.
The president commenced his campaign activities for the day at about 2 p.m., stopping first at the Abeka market. President Mahama, in a brief address, urged traders at the market not to engage in violence before, during and after this year's polls. We just came to visit you. This is not a rally. I'm only greeting you and reminding you that we are voting on 7th December. Let's all have a good heart and be peaceful during the polls. The NDC presidential candidate then headed to Malamata Market, where he reiterated his promise to renovate existing markets if given the nod once more. We are going to make all markets new. We will renovate each. This is because most markets are not in good shape and thus prone to fire outbreak, which leads to loss of our brothers and mothers' world. The president then addressed a mammoth rally at the Kotobabi Park, where he took a swipe at the opposition NPP. President Mahama said, contrary to claims by the opposition NPP that governments literally put money in the pockets of people, that wasn't the case. Governments, he stated, provide opportunities for people.
Sika send me kan enra no o man peyin bia emma embeka se
what they often say is that they ask people whether they have money in their pockets. Like I said yesterday, no president will ask citizens to kill, so he distributes money to them. If you get money, you need to work. Like I said yesterday, all government can do is to provide schools to ensure that people will be equipped with skills to enable them work and earn money.
And they say, I buy ABC schools, ama yakwade school. I buy ABC vocational school, technical schools, skills development fund. Send ya mabunu ABC sia omosano ejuma. No mu ya omoti media ye ejuma.
President Mahama's team had the University of Ghana as the final stop for the day. President Mahama presented braille versions of the NDC manifesto to some visually impaired students, after which he addressed the teaming students. The leader of the governing party decided to reply to Dr. Bawumia on claims made by the latter during the NPP's manifesto launch that the president had wrongly interpreted a recent publication by the ratings agency on Ghana.
It is the same with the economy. If you create the impression that the economy is in crisis, Ghana is going back, despite all the scientific basis, even from outside, Moody's comes and upgrades us and says there's more confidence in Ghana's economy. We've gone from negative to stable. And then somebody who calls himself an economist can stand and say there was no Moody's upgrade. I can't think far. So government's first responsibility in job creation is to create a stable economic environment so that the private sector can grow. That's one. Then government's second responsibility is to make sure that our young people are coming out with the right skills for the world of work. Increasingly, our country has continued to change. And so our country is demanding a new set of skills. And so
some students who listened to the president's address shared their views.
I think his speech was excellent. He did well. He was able to analyze the circumstances that we face as a country, and he brought out the measures we will take to solve the problems.
I know he has a lot of things to do for us, so it's just a matter of giving him the second chance. And then I believe in him. Yes, I believe he can give us jobs, so I'm not worried at all. I just believe he can provide. It is excellent, really. It is really excellent. You see the schools, especially my road, Eastern region, the road leading to Akutia, God, it's excellent. Seriously, I'm for JM. That is why I am choosing JM.
It's a comprehensive speech that he gave. He covered every sector of the economy. He covered every sector of the developmental agenda that he's trying to push. I think where the places that fascinate me most is the infrastructure development.
Loan trust fund. He made it clear. That's the only thing I wanted to hear, and that's the reason why I came here. Because many people are talking about the teach
and the job aspect. Sharp. And the job aspect, you see, he told us it's not every course that I should do. Some are overwrapped, so you have to take your time, know what you want to do in future. If there's a job vacancy, then go in there and offer your course and talk about more entrepreneurship to the job vacancy.
I learned from his speeches that the students' allowance, that the trainee allowance was scrapped off for a purpose. It was not really scrapped off, but it was replaced for a purpose.
Let's stay a while longer on elections, and the Nima Divisional Police Command, in a bid to ensure a peaceful conduct of the polls in the 3 key constituencies under its jurisdiction, has been engaging the various parliamentary aspirants. The meeting on Thursday was also attended by parliamentary aspirants from the Klote-Kole constituency, part of which falls within the jurisdiction of the Nima Police Command. Divisional Commander ACP Vance Gariba urged the aspirants to desist from engaging so-called macho men during this year's election. Hanodame has more.
The deployment of well-built figures by parties has become a regular feature of elections in Ghana. But these so-called macho men who act as bodyguards have often been blamed for most of the violence recorded during polls. The Nima Divisional Police Commander is not calling for them to be outlawed, but says they must stay as far away from the process as possible.
The elections for 2016-2017 has a lot of security implications for us, and particularly my jurisdiction. Now, for me, I have noticed in the past that some political parties have used well-built persons to create uncomfortable situation for the security agencies. And I want to emphasize that I wouldn't, in my jurisdiction, entertain such well-built people moving from one location to another to try to create mayhem.
The CPP candidate for the Klote-Kole constituency, however, suggested a different approach.
If you are looking for the macho men or whatever it is, they have organizations that really brings them up. So I'll plead with the security agencies to call on the directors of the gyms that anybody who comes from your outfit, that gym will be closed forever. So at least we can have peaceful elections, not only for 2016, but for subsequent elections.
3 other aspirants for the Klote-Kole constituency pledged their support for a peaceful election.
One of us is definitely going to be the member of parliament of Klote-Kole. And I don't believe if there's trouble and chaos in Klote-Kole, you would be able to become a successful member of parliament. So there will be no people if we create issues in our constituency. So we pledge to bring peace.
If there's no peace, none of this is going to mean anything anyway, and therefore I'd like to take the opportunity to also pledge my complete commitment towards a peaceful electoral process and a campaign, and on the day of election and post-election as well.
All we are looking forward to is what the will of the majority of the people. So I urge everybody in our constituency to also commit themselves to a very peaceful process. Having said that, I also hope that the managers of the elections, the Electoral Commission, will also be very fair
and even-handed so that it will not bring out any perceptions of unfairness.
The district electoral officer for Ayawaso, Nantogma Abdul Rashid, advised aspirants on the role of polling agents.
The agents are there to represent the interests of the candidates who brought them there. And so one issue, they should be given the opportunity to observe what is going on there. But you see, sometimes we allow them to stand by our officers and they want to go beyond the rule of observing into instructing the officers on as to what to do. And when you do that for a while, the officer sometimes would get agitated, we will get annoyed with you and ask that, please, just move away from me. That's where they go to place them distances that they can't even see what is going on.
For Joy News, my name is Hannah Odami.
Now, legal practitioner Johnny Ndebugri says the 12 disqualified presidential candidates have demonstrated a wrong understanding of the law when they argue that the Electoral Commission used mere cleric errors as a basis to reject their nomination papers. The former MP on the ticket of the PNC explains the EC disqualified the 12 based on serious violation of the law and not simple clerical errors as they claim. He spoke earlier on the Super Morning Show on Joy FM.
There's no law which says that the person who has done multiple registration should be convicted before he is disqualified from doing ABC.
This is pointing to Section 9 of CI 94.
It doesn't say that you must prosecute the person before he is disqualified.
But if a person is not prosecuted, how then do you convict the person?
The Electoral Commission has a database, so they know those who have done multiple registration.
What do you make of the provision in the same CI 94 that says the EC, has the responsibility to give the party involved or the affected party an opportunity to rectify any anomaly found in the nomination form?
No, I think that is a complete misinterpretation of the law. I understand that portion to be dealing with what you started the interview with, clerical errors. Your name is wrongly spelled. Maybe you have quoted your telephone number wrongly, and so on and so forth. Not when you have done something in violation of the law. You cannot be called to come and correct a violation of the law. The institutions are not allowed to aid people to violate a statute. And I'm saying that it is not one of the instances that you have violated a section of the law, therefore it becomes necessary for you to be called to come and correct it. It will refer to very simple clerical errors. And these things must be done within the nomination period.
Do you feel that the litany of challenges and the potential court cases could derail the timetable for our elections?
Well, I'm not a judge, but you see, just like in the first Indum case, some of us opine that the court will throw out the application because the courts are sitting there to do substantial justice and not to, engage in frivolous things. So I don't see that any court action will pass muster just based on this technical interpretation of the law. So they may go and they will be thrown out.
Now, the Electoral Commission has justified the disqualification of former First Lady Nana Akufo-Addo Rawlings from contesting the December 7 general elections. Lawyers for Mrs. Rawlings had challenged the basis of her disqualification in a letter threatening legal action if the EC failed to reverse the decision. The Commission responded in equal measure Thursday evening, insisting that disqualification was justified, and will bring you that response very shortly. You're still here on News Desk on Joy News on Moody TV. Stay with us. And this is News Desk on Joy News on Moody TV. Let me bring you this story again from the Electoral Commission justifying the disqualification of the former First Lady Nana Rawlings from contesting the December 7 general elections. Lawyers for Mrs. Rawlings had challenged the basis of her disqualification in a letter threatening legal action if the EC failed to reverse the decision. The Commission responded in equal measure on Thursday evening, insisting that disqualification was justified. Here's a News Desk report.
Lawyers for the Electoral Commission have mounted a strong defense in an 11-page response after lawyers for the NDP flag bearer, Nana Rawlings, challenged their basis for disqualifying the former First Lady. According to the EC, contrary to the position of the NDP lawyers that the Commission had no power to proceed in the manner they did by disqualifying the flag bearer, they argue that per the Public Elections Regulations 2016 CI 94, Regulation 9(1), a candidate shall be considered to stand nominated unless proof is given to the satisfaction of the returning officer of the candidate's death, withdrawal or disqualification, adding that the rule insists the returning officer shall give the candidate an opportunity to make amendments or any alteration necessary within the stipulated nomination period. However, this, they explain, is conditional, constituting a correlative right enjoyed only within the stipulated nomination period. Failure to make alterations within the stipulated nomination period would render a candidate's nomination invalid, they added. Plus, the CI 94 made no provisions for an extension. According to the lawyers of the AC, in the specific case of the NDP, they presented their nomination forms a day to the final day for the nomination, although all candidates were urged to submit their nominations as early as possible. The Commission thus was unable to accept Mrs. Rawlings' nomination as the number of subscribers to a form did not meet the requirements of Regulations 2B of CI 94.
And away from election-related issues.